Now maybe it's working. I always forget. There's that other button I have to hit up there. I thought I was going and good and talking and trying to figure things out, and then nothing was working, and nobody was responding. And so now I have a better idea. Somebody let me know if you can hear me or not. You know, this computer messed up like it is. The microphone may be working and it may not be working. I'm going to try to find, hey, thank you for that, Oliver. Let's see. I used to know how to use my phone. I can do that. And then I should, let's see. No, I was hoping I got a notification from myself that I'm live, but I'm not seeing that. Thank you, Carol. Hi, Shannon. 5x5. Hey, Tony, how are you, bud? Good to see you. Good to see Mitchell. Good to see Uncle Al. Good to see Oliver. Good to see Aid. Aid, I'm looking forward to you getting back here. But I worked most of the day putting that video together while we were down there working. Wes will probably be in here with us here in a little bit, I suspect. I'm still, in the meantime, trying to figure out how to do my own phone. I found it. I can go here. Oh, but I don't need that sound, do I? Because I certainly don't want to hear myself. Now, there's the chat going. Do it there. There we go. All right. Now I'm in the stream and I can read the chat easier and maybe respond if I need to. So anyway, good to see all of you here tonight. It's funny. I did not know Wes was going live. Hey, Mark. Hey, Joe. I didn't know Wes was going live, and I came in sending that text message, and he may have mentioned that online too while everybody was going, because I heard nearly nothing of his because I was jumping around here trying to hurry and get things together and get ready and get my computer balanced just right, my laptop where everything would work real good. Yep, Shannon says should be 70s here this week. It's going to be 60s and 70s after we had a little snowstorm. I don't think I'd call it a storm, but we got about an inch of snow, maybe half inch, something like that, and that was kind of nice. Hey, Keith. Good to see you. There is Mr. S. Wes, give me a thumbs up or a wave or a high five or something when you're ready. I talked about you already. I don't know if that was a sign or not, but we're just going to add him anyway, whether he's ready or not. How about that? Ready or not, here he comes. And my wife's printing something, so give us just a second here.
I was opening soda.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, but I need to turn my volume up a little bit so I can hear better.
Turn your volume.
Wes, I had no idea you were going live. I came in from being out in the shop working on some stuff and sent you that text, and there you were.
Oops.
Carol, are you not excited about the snow? We need snow. Carol, it's bad dry. We need every bit of moisture we can get here.
Hello, everybody that said hi to me in the chat.
Hi, Mel. Miss Mel with Chasing Life is here. That's something, Mel, I was thinking about you a couple of days ago. It's been a long time since I heard anything from or about you, so I was a bit concerned. And Wes, it's funny, I had several different things I was going to talk about this evening, and right now my brain's still going 100 miles an hour from having to try to get everything set up here, and I can't think of any of it. I will tell you, though, that I got that video edited and put together and uploaded from when you and me and Aid were down there working on the property, but I'm not going to post it until you tell me to, because I know you've got one you're going to post. So I don't know if yours needs to go post.
About over there was that I was making it a really long one because I've never made like a super long video and posted it, and I wanted to do it.
A feature length?
It cratered when I was almost done with the editing and stuff. The editor just said, The editor has stopped responding. Would you like to wait?
Oh.
Yes. The editor has stopped responding. Would you like to wait? Yes. The editor has stopped responding. We are going to close the program and see if we can fix the problem.
Oh no. Were you able to save your work?
None of it.
Oh.
Uh,
You know, a couple of years ago,
50%, over 50% of it was corrupt. It wouldn't even show.
My goodness. You know, Wes, I had a similar problem a year or two ago. And it turned out, I'm pretty sure that what my problem was is after I had the movies, they uploaded, if I went into my file application, whatever, and looked for different things, one of them says documents. When I go into documents, there's where the movies load to the computer after they are finished producing in the video editor. And I still had several in there. And for whatever reason, they were eating up a lot of memory. And once I moved those over to somewhere else, in fact, once I got them completely off my computer and onto an external hard drive, then that problem went away and I hadn't any more trouble with it. So
yeah, mine, I think I know what I did wrong. I had I had moved video from my phone to my computer so that I could edit it, but then I didn't dismount my phone before I unplugged my phone.
Maybe, yeah. And I do almost none of it on my phone. In fact, I've just a couple of days ago figured out how to move videos and pictures from my phone to my laptop without trying to email them to myself. So see how that goes.
Honestly, that's the only thing I like about the last update that Windows 10 did. They did to 11. I said, no, this sucks. I don't like it. And so they go back to 10. But now, now Windows 10 will communicate with my Samsung phone. Before it wouldn't let me. I had to move one item from the phone to the computer, at one item at a time. That's all I could do.
Okay.
Now I can do though. I can back up the whole phone on there now.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Do we like that one better?
Yeah,
I just changed the way our pictures show up on the screen here. Everybody, I saw that when it first came on. I liked it. I almost hung up that flag. I had my choice of what I was going to put up, and it was either the LGB flag or the Gadsden. It was going to be one of those. And so I don't know if I chose poorly or chose well. Maybe variety is good.
You chose well.
Thank you.
Somebody cut the rope on the guy at Sea City. His little flag that's been flying his doesn't say "Let's go, Brandon." But I think somebody went by and cut his rope.
Not a huge
flag's
surprise.
Still there, but it's not up at the top anymore.
Yeah. So, but he can fix it probably though, right?
Yeah, when you cut the rope, it comes out of the pulley, so he's got to go all the way to the top of the pole now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe he can go back in with a steel rope if they won't cut as easy.
He needed a new one anyway.
Wes, did you get any snow out of that thing we had a couple of days ago?
No, we just got some cold, and it was overcast for about an hour. That was it.
Well, it looked like y'all were going to get a dose of it too, just looking at the radar.
It came down and then it went to, what do you call that stuff where it evaporates in the sky? Virgo.
Yep. Yeah, how about that? By the way, an introduction might be good for anybody on here that doesn't know who Shannon 222 is. Shannon 222 is the gal that just took over the motel that I used to have. Everybody probably remembers maybe that when the accident happened, the night of the accident, Welton, my friend Welton, took over for us, and he was dealing with it ever since then. So that's been 2.5 years that it's been nobody there pretty much but him. Now, I went and helped him out a lot of times where we still owned it and did stuff. But in the last year since the new owner has had it, Welton took care of it completely by himself. I mean, everything. And plus, the owner of the motel had him doing lots of remodel work and tearing stuff out of rooms. I mean, had him flat busy all the time. Well, as you can imagine, Welton got burnt out. And I don't blame him. I kind of did too. And so Shannon, who I got to know over on minds.com, was traveling through Texas. And I said, boy, it'd be nice if I could actually get to meet you in person sometime. And it turned out she was looking for a place to kind of hang out for a couple of days. So we brought her up here and put her at the motel. And I had a feeling that might make it easier for Welton to take his leave from there, which he did. Welton is cooking. That's what Welton does. He's a cook. He used to manage a couple of clubs in Lubbock and things like that. And so he's able to get back to doing cooking and the stuff he loves. And it gave Shannon a chance to take over and start a new career, if you want to call it that, but kind of gave her maybe what she was looking for. And so anyway, there she is. And everybody say hi to Shannon if you hadn't already. It looks like everybody has already. So that works out. So sometimes things do work out the way you think maybe they will.
Hello, Shannon. Did you tell her that it's her responsibility to keep up with the apricot trees down the alley?
I have not told her about that. Good call. I don't know if I wanted to know about that. Yeah, the apricot trees, that alley 2 alleys over, right? Those apricot trees?
Yeah, the ones
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm kidding. Those trees make so many apricots. I don't think any 6 people could eat them all. Oh, Mel, I'm sorry you're having trouble. I hate that you're having trouble. All right, Mel's at the grocery store getting something good to eat. Hey, Mel, you'll have to let us know if you saw any empty shelves or shortages of anything or whatever else. I think everybody knows where Mel is. I'm not going to say, though, until she says it's okay. I'm not going to say exactly where she is, but just in what state. Mitchell Buff is somebody I bet most of y'all don't know. Mitchell doesn't make it here very often. Mitchell lives, I'm going to get it wrong, but I think over towards the East Coast, maybe Virginia, and actually has a radio show of his own that I never could figure out how to get to because I'm not good enough at that kind of stuff. Mitchell, if you would like, hey, Charles. Charles Rogers is my buddy Joel's brother. I'm going to be at his place in about 3 days. Trying to figure out a way to make Joel do all the work. I don't think that'll be happening. Joel's pretty clever. He'll know how to get out of that. But Mitchell, if you want to post, if you're still doing your radio show and you want to post that link here for people to be able to find, that's completely okay for you to do that. Yep, Virginia. Yeah, I got it right. I met Mitchell on Suspicious Observers channel in the mornings over there. Got to see him there. He was one of the regulars there.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get wiped out last week. What happened with that?
No, we weren't going to. Where'd you hear that?
I was on the news. Something about a big storm coming through.
No, so many of the different news sites, they use any kind of little burp from the sun to post a little bit of fear pone and try to, bump their views and their ratings a little bit. My brother Bent, good to see you here.
Hey, Bent.
Bent, I suspect there's a lot more. Most people probably just walked away from everything and they're reading a good book or snuggling up with their wife or girlfriend or whatever, and probably that's why.
It was weird. I expected a lot more people to pop into the live stream than did over there. I was like, oh, there's some people that are pretty regular that didn't show up. I'm like, not watching the game, are we?
Maybe.
So,
there he is. Mitchell posted.
Never take a knee.
That's exactly right. Yeah, Wes, I'm going to be down there hooking up a generator for Joel's brother, Charlie, and he got him a nice one. I'm going to pretty soon be the only one of all the people that I have kind of talked about preparedness with that doesn't have his own. I mean, I've got a generator. I guess maybe that's the thing. I've got a generator, and I know I can hook mine up at any point. Just go out there and stick it in. So maybe that's the difference right there. Maybe I'm not as far behind the curve as I feel like, but I am completely proud of Charlie and of my buddy Clinton and my little brother and everybody else that's got a generator, including Mr. S, who got him a nice one. So
I need to get that thing on that little junky trailer. I need to take the trailer, and I want to put a toolbox on it, put the generator on it, and put some racks on it for the ladders and stuff.
yep.
And then, pretend like I could go do work off of it if I wanted to. But then the only thing about it is then all the stuff that cost me all that money is right there. All somebody needs is a 2-inch ball. That's the only downside to having everything on a trailer.
You can get locks for those kind of things. You know that flatbed trailer I've got a little pin lock in there that goes in it and keeps it locked where supposedly nobody can get a hold of it and drive off. Probably wouldn't hurt if I put a chain around the axle somewhere too.
You can keep your trailer if you'll take a tire off of it and put a lock on, because then they're like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
But, as long as a professional doesn't see it, you're okay. That's the end of it.
Good point.
My trailer's not going to be worth stealing, so they'd be better off just spending the time to take the stuff off of it. But my worries are what do they call them, tweakers or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Or opportunists or whatever.
Yeah,
there was a guy in Odessa. He literally stopped to write down the sign for a piece of property. Had fallen, and he wanted to get the number off of it. So he parked, jumped out of his truck, had walked over to the sign to get it, and another truck pulled up beside his truck. 2 guys jumped off the passenger side, threw tools out of the back of his truck into that truck, and took off before he could get back to him.
Yeah.
It's they're just, I don't go to Odessa, people. People always talk about, oh, let's go to Odessa. I'm like, what are we going to Odessa for?
Right.
Oh, wait.
Hey, I just learned
about this, but
what's that?
I'm making a little video about this too.
Cool. That'll be fun.
I made it in the back during the cold snap.
Hey, I just noticed something here on my phone. When I'm on my laptop and I do the @ symbol, the capital 2, and then type somebody's name 3 letters in, it highlights it and sends it out as a highlighted message comment, but it doesn't seem to work that way on my phone. Is there a trick that I should know?
Yes.
Yes.
Ours does the same.
So you just have to type out the whole name for it to go and highlight?
On the computer, it'll do it for you, but not on my phone.
Right.
I don't have an iPhone, so.
I'm really impressed with this it's a chef's knife. In case you're wondering why it looks funny. It's my first ever chef knife.
And it didn't work that way either. I don't know. Or does it? Maybe it doesn't work that way even. Maybe it doesn't show up that way.
Well, you got to capitalize my W.
Well, yeah, that'd probably help. Maybe just looking here. I'm just using StreamYard, watching the chat on StreamYard here. So maybe that's why it's not showing up. Your phone doesn't work. Oh, okay.
Let me see if it highlighted me over here.
No, Oliver, I can't. It doesn't work to do it on there because, my computer, Oliver, is set, like that. And so I can't really reach over and get to the keyboard, and try to reach around and over the top and type like that. So it doesn't matter.
Did I miss something? Why are you atting me anyway?
To see if it would work.
Oh.
I figured you were, in case it did something weird, like blew up your computer, I figured that way nobody else would be mad at me. boy, what all was I thinking? There were 2 or 3 things that occurred to me today that I thought, man, I should do a video. I know what it is. One thing in particular. Wes, you'll
Huh.
appreciate this, being a heating and air conditioning man. Woke up this morning and my heater was not working. I mean, it was running, but there was no heat coming out. And the short story is, it turns out I've got a bad hot surface igniter, so that's no big deal. I can swap that out easy enough. The good news is, for everybody that doesn't know, if your hot surface igniter doesn't work, but everything else does, you can still light your furnace. So I got my little Burns-O-Matic torch, fired it up, wait for the gas valve to open up, stick that dude down in there, light off the burners, everything else. No, it works great. There's nothing unsafe about it. I was concerned, but I mean, it's the same. It's the same as doing it any other way. So I'm thinking about doing a video on that.
Is it a furnace?
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah,
every time it calls for heat, you're gonna go around there and you're gonna light the fire by hand.
No, I'm not going to do that forever, but it's just until I can get another hot surface igniter in there. That way, when the house cools off, I can at least warm the house back up.
Yes, that's acceptable.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that all the time. That would get tedious.
Yeah, but yeah, be careful not to get any soot on your flame sensor.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I do it on the hot sensor. Good grief, hot surface igniter is on the other end from that. Hey, Diorce is in Florida. Wow, cool for you, brother.
Yay.
I'm ready to go back to Florida, go camping and fishing again.
I want to go to Florida, but no, sharks.
So anyway, I'm thinking I'm going to do a video about that, but there's a couple of guys. Hey, Chance, good to see you, brother. I didn't even see you jump in there. There's a couple of guys that are frequenters of my channel. If he sees it, Ted Simonis, he's a good guy, but he is Mr. Safety Conscious. And so he'll give me a lecture, him and a couple other guys probably, on, that ain't the smart or safe way to do it or whatever else. And I'll have to let him know that, the world isn't safe always. It's good to be safe, but anything is dangerous. In fact, that's one of the things I'll probably talk about in that video. Anything is safe if you do it right, but everything is dangerous if you don't do it right. It is dangerous. It's safe to go in there and light that furnace that way. It's safe to do electrical work with the power on if you do it right. It is dangerous to get out on the roads and drive to work in traffic, because the factor of what you can control and can't control is what makes the difference to a great degree. When you're on the highway, you can't control what other people are doing. When I'm working with electricity, I can control that. Now, I may miss something. There may be some key thing I miss, and I'll get a little wake-up call. Has happened plenty of times. When I'm lighting that furnace, I might get something wrong. But all of those things are predictable and controllable. But when you're on the highway, when you're out in public, when you're doing things like that, that's where the danger factor ramps up. And a lot of people don't think about that. Help me figure out where I'm getting it wrong. Hey, Walter.
No, that's true. It just my only thing was there's like all kinds of you just have to be paying real close attention, because on those furnaces or whatever, when it shuts off, if it calls for heat again before you're ready for it to call for heat again, it'll trip all them little resets, and then you're going to be looking all over the place for little tiny buttons.
That's possible. Mine doesn't have any resets, oddly enough. I looked all over thinking that they did. I even thought that flame sensor, it's got what looks like a reset button on it, and maybe it is, but in this case, it didn't have any. But yeah, that's a good point when I do that. I am always looking for a way, if something quits working, to bypass it and make it work. In fact, air conditioning tip here. If your outside condenser unit, the air mover fan, the one on top there, it's got a name for it, and I don't remember which one that is. If that quits working, you can take a box fan and plug it in and lay it on top so that it pulls the air up through there. and keep it working pretty well. Now, it doesn't cool it as efficiently as it should, but I have gotten people going until the actual AC guy could get there and get them going many times.
Just make sure you got a good box fan.
For sure.
And, take the grates off the box fan so it's not restricted on the airflow. Because it's airflow. On those little box fans, they have the front and the back.
The grill?
If you take them off, it'll pull air.
Oh, better. Sure. I guess it would. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes complete sense.
We actually had a box fan that at one place that I worked. It's not your average box fan. That thing would hum, but you could lay it up there and it would do that. The other thing is, I mean, you can put just about any fan you want to or motor you want on them condenser units. The only thing is it's just going to knock your efficiency down.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the right motor on there, turn it at the right speed, you're going to cost yourself longevity in your compressor. It's just stuff like that you got to be careful with. That's the downside to forcing your unit to cool when the busted will wear out the compressor.
Let me hang on just a second here. Forgive me. Hi, Dad. No, Dad, it's Sunday. There's not going to be anybody come out and fix my furnace on a Sunday, but it's okay. Because in fact, I was just talking to a couple of people about that. I've got it going. We'll keep the house warm. Worst case, we can build a fire in the wood stove, put an extra blanket on. Maybe that'll give Christy a good reason to snuggle up with me at night. No, I appreciate that. That's good to know. If the weather was cold enough, I might think about it, but I think it's not even going to be hardly cold at all tonight. I might, but good grief, I think it's 68 in here right now, and it's plenty warm. Yeah, that wouldn't do for you, I know, but here that would be about right.
If you decide you need to stay here a while, you're sure welcome.
Okay, now he's got the thing muted. We'll talk over him. He's see his little pointed like I'm super smart. I actually thought of him today. See his little bandana. We stopped and got us some iced coffee. Me and the missus got us some floofy coffee, and they had some welding caps there, which were basically just a bandana that you don't have to tie. But as much as I love Rob, I just couldn't see throwing down $15 for him to have something to stick on his head. I was like, because those things on the welding trucks are like $7 man.
So all right,
$15 for a welding hat.
A welding hat.
I'm like, I'm not doing that, dude. They had they were was it black? Yeah, black with little red skulls and crossbones, and then they had 2 desert tan ones and 1 woodland camo. I'm like, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I was fixing to call you and ask you what size hat you wore, and then I was like, what? That day $14.99.
All right, I lost the chat on my phone here. What the heck? You know, this stuff.
Yeah, I may go back to or go to McDonald's Welding Supply and see if they got some.
Oh, good grief. Where is it? No, I don't want that. All right. I lost. This is aggravating. Oh, my goodness.
I'll read it to you.
Yeah, I can read it. I just want it back on my phone. I had it a second ago.
I want to read it to you. Shannon said that tomorrow's Valentine's and you should buy her something nice. Mrs. Southern Bell said something about a hot tub.
Yes. Heck yeah.
And Michael said they replaced an entire unit inside, and it's 20 years old now or something. No, not really. My glasses got scratched up the other day, and I can't find my backup pair that I bought.
Yeah, mine too.
And I literally can't see.
Yeah, I've started this pair of glasses while we were in Florida because my other ones fell apart and I've already got scratches all over them. And I have missed saying hello to 2 or 3 people. I didn't say hello to McGregor, who's the new name for me. I didn't say hello to Maccabeus. Hey, Mac, good to see you here, brother. And I didn't say hello to Miss Southern Belle.
I do not see Maccabeus or the other person you're talking about over here.
Maccabeus was up there a little bit at, what was he, about 4 minutes ago. And McGregor, there he is. He's up there a little bit.
Oh, there he is.
That Miss Southern Belle, yeah, that's true. You can put hot water in your tub. It doesn't add a lot of heat, but it bumps the humidity level up a little bit, which will make it feel a little bit warmer if the temperature is right. If it's real cold, it'll make it feel a little bit cooler in the house.
Yeah.
But I just talked about that to somebody the other day when I lived in a house that didn't have a heater or air conditioner. And in the summertime, I'd draw just a kind of maybe not quite completely cold, but a cool bath. And I would lay in there. And there's McGregor right there. He says, God bless. I hope that doesn't mean he's taking off. We hadn't even got to visit with him yet. Or I haven't anyway. This is like a comedy live. Miss Southern Belle, yes, it kind of is. We take ourselves serious once in a while, but apparently, obviously, not too serious. Yeah, Chance, I hope you like that lantern. I really do like it. I have, I used to a long time ago. I had a couple of setups like that, and that was what I used instead of the Coleman fuel. I still like the Coleman fuel lanterns better just because it's more woodsy, maybe. But
I still have my Coleman fuel lantern, but I don't have my propane one anymore.
Good, McGregor.
Anyway.
It would be nice to follow. Yes, Mel, it would be nice to follow. And by the way, it looks like Mel got everything back so she can see and hear everything now, and that's a good thing. Mel, I was going to tell everybody where you were. In fact, I don't know if you saw or maybe you posted in the chat and I missed it. When you were at the store a while ago, did you find any empty shelves or shortages of anything or anything like that we would want to you know what I'm trying to say. Be aware of. Be knowing of.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We were in the store, and there was a lot of the same ones that have always been there were there. Dude, there was no macaroni and cheese, man. The section in the store for macaroni and cheese, there was like 2 or 3 boxes. That was it.
Wow.
It's okay when just like the plain noodles are missing, but you better not be messing with my macaroni and cheese now. That's like seriously, the instant or not the macaroni and cheese in a box. That is one of our main preps. It is,
no doubt. And I got to say hi to my buddy Brandon B. I got your flag going, dude. See, I was thinking about you.
Brandon's here.
Brandon is my radio guy with our small group that we meet with occasionally. Although I hadn't seen Brandon, I've been needing to get him back over here, or hang out with him, get some more advice and talk and kind of get me going again. But he's been busy. I've been busy. Everybody's busy. I guess that's good. Everybody needs to be busy to get ready for whatever ridiculous things may be coming down our way. All right.
Yeah, I had a nice radio going at the deal, and somebody turned it off, but not all the way off. They just turned the volume all the way down, and now I got a battery. Not going to point to anybody in the other side.
Might look at
him. Crotch, the old fart, trying to talk to me. He walks over and turns the radio down so he can hear what I'm saying. Then they turn it back up.
Oh, man. Hey, so should I go ahead and make that video public that I did our work weekend? Or you mean to
Yeah,
wait?
I don't. That's yep. I'm like, no, you can't do that. I'll copyright you for using my
Well,
property.
no, I know you're not good, but I mean, you may have. There's been times before that we tried to coordinate the release of our videos, like that South Texas
Yeah,
bug out exercise.
and
You
that would be the about the. I don't know if anybody watches my channel that doesn't watch your channel, but if that's the way I end my channel is telling everybody to go watch your videos because you've probably got more stuff over there on my barn than I do. So now my video is going to be funnier than yours.
probably.
The I could have put out something already, but I'm trying to make it. I want to do it all like a big long one, and then after the long one, I'll probably put out some short ones. It's man, I've been
And hello to
looking all
NC
over that
Girl.
place. I've been down there like 3 times since we were there. I can't find one of them little wiggling twigs for nothing.
Huh.
I've been flipping rocks and rolling tires and crawling around with
Yeah,
flies,
we'll be there.
looking everywhere. I can't find me of them no shoulders for nothing.
Okay, I'm going to the chat here, and NC Girl from Texas is here. Hi, Jan. Good to see you. Mel says, "Oh my goodness, it's so bad. I was going to mention that there has been literally no cat food for over a month. Bread is short. Mac and cheese, cream cheese has been gone for a month or so. Hey, you know what? I know how to do this. I forgot. I'm
There.
way out of the habit of." No, Carol. Carol, I doubt it. By the way. Yeah, Miss Southern Belle, we can read the chat. We just forget to read the chat. We get busy talking and don't look. We're not like Steve, who that's all he does is read the chat until he decides to get off on a rant of some sort and start growling at everybody and pointing at them.
Whenever I do my live streams, my wife's nice enough. She actually reads the chat for me, and if I miss something important, she's like, "Hey, pay attention."
Yeah. Yeah, now I'm reading the chat to catch up. A pair of red yeah. Red under yep.
Have you seen? I don't know. It's one of those things that popped up on Instagram the other day. But it's that little video the gal walks in. She goes, "Honey, I didn't get you anything for Valentine's because I know we really didn't. We weren't going to do gifts this year or whatever." She said, "So I just got you me." And he's like, he looks her up and down. So I thought we weren't getting anything or getting each other anything big this year. And then she tackled him. But anyway, it was funny as crap. I thought it was funny. I shared it. Or that's I don't share memes. It was funny. Wow, Miss Southern Belle, I feel really bad now.
Oh, I got to go find that one, don't I?
It's good enough. She says, "This is the best live I've ever been to in my life." So
I find that unlikely.
I'd find that unlikely too. She needs to get out more.
It could be her first one, I guess.
Well, that's true. You know, she might be one of those people that's been trapped in the PewDiePie universe or something.
Oh boy, that's one of those things I've heard of, but I do not even. I don't know what
when he
really
endorsed Brandon, I went and checked him out. And he endorsed Hillary and Brandon actually.
Okay.
So I went and I was like, "What? For starters, why don't you go take some of that money and go see a doctor?"
Shannon says she has a new channel. I didn't know you had a new channel, Shannon. I figured it was the same channel you've had.
She said she's creative Sierra General.
By the way,
Actually,
Wes,
I'm having more trouble editing out my intermission for whoever asked me if there was going to be an intermission on my long video. The rest of it. Go ahead. What were you going to say? Probably
I was
something
going
important.
well, I don't know if important, so that'd be a strong term, but went over to see Evan. I know you met Evan, my friend, the preacher up in Plainview, and who likes to sip a little Evan Williams with me. Well, he got a bottle of Evan bonded. No, but go. Barreled in bond, I think is what it's called. And it was 100 proof, kind of a special run that they did, and it was quite nice. It was quite nice.
Yeah, that $high liquor is pretty good.
Miss Southern Belle is going to go take a shower and leave us here, all forlorn. But we're glad she was here. Thanks for coming
We
in.
will miss you, Miss Southern Belle. You come back
Indeed.
anytime. And I apologize if Rob stunted your growth or diminished your IQ in any way, shape, or form. He's
There is
not
that
going to
chance.
apologize. He thinks he's intellectually stimulating. So,
Or something.
or something. I saw something intellectually stimulating once. I can't remember what it was, but
Bottled and bond. Thank you.
bottled and
See,
bond.
Bent is all over it. He knows. Good man, Bent.
Mine says cheap liquor. Not really. It says Evan Williams. Straight. I'm probably going to regret this, man. I've had several of the cluster headaches since we got back from the barn or whatever. I hadn't had one like the one y'all got to watch, but I've had one close. I've had two that were close.
Yeah, that I hated having to watch you have that because I'm sitting there wanting to do something and can't do nothing, and that's an awful feeling. Just
Yep, that's apparently the one guy on one of the things or whatever. What he started doing is he switched in the evenings to drinking a soda instead of water or anything else. Because I tried cutting coffee all the way out and just drinking water. Whoa, they weren't as freaking, but when they did come on, I was doing that whenever I was just no caffeine at all, just water, and it got so bad, I was screaming for somebody to come in here and shoot me.
yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, no. So went back to the decaf because decaffeinated coffee is not completely decaffeinated. It's just the caffeine level in it is so low, they call it decaffeinated. It's just really low caffeine coffee. So anyway, the guy says that he switched to a can of Dr. Pepper or Coca-Cola in the evenings, and the frequency and severity dropped.
How about that? I wonder why that is.
They don't even know what causes the headaches, man. Nobody.
Yeah. I wonder with the soda, could it be a sodium / potassium / sugar thing? Maybe, I don't know.
The triggers for people are different. That's none of the things line up or whatever. It's just some people when they hit 50, they wind up with it. And they can go away. I mean, I've only been I had a couple of them when I was in my early 50s, but they would just, I'd have 2 or 3 and then boom, wouldn't have to deal with them again for another year.
How about that?
But now it's like they come in last year, how long well, I was bitching about them on here. How long did they last? 3 months?
Maybe.
And I need to go back and check my videos because I'm really starting to think that it may be cotton.
I wonder.
Triggering me.
I wonder. By the way, hello to Anonymous American.
Hello,
Always
no.
good, always good to have him on here with us. Excuse me. Brominated vegetable oil. That sounds yummy.
Oh, I had no intention of giving up caffeine. It's not caffeine triggered because when I'm not having the headaches, I can drink caffeine all the way. I can start drinking caffeine in the morning, drink caffeine. I can literally drink a cup of coffee at midnight with you people, sit it down, go to bed and go to sleep. Just like that.
All right, Chance, lead lingers or lead slingers? I haven't heard of lead. It is slingers. You got the S. Okay, good. Lead slingers. Yes, I've heard of that one. I hadn't tried it yet. Thank you, Adam. Thank you. Hey, brother. Good to see you here. And bullet barrel strength. Heck yeah, I've got some of that out there. And yes, Chance, dude, when are you gonna be down here? We need to sip some bourbon, brother. You a man after my own heart in many ways, and why wouldn't you be? I don't know if y'all remember. Chance is from about 30 miles. No, Chance is from about 50 miles up the road in Hereford, where he's from.
So you're coming between me and Chance. Is that what you're doing?
Could be.
You're blocking the road.
But I will holler at you. He says he's going to be here in March. I'll holler at you when he gets here, unless he tells me not to, or unless I forget, which is entirely possible.
Mark, I had never heard of him until I had my first one, or until I had until last year when they got so bad and they wouldn't go away. I went to the doctor and said, "Tell me what is going on." And he's like, "Well, they're called this, and there's nothing I can do for you." What? I said, "I guess supposing you're still going to take the $40."
Cool, Chance. Mark, by the way, Mr. C103, I left a message on one of your, the one where you were, well, I don't know. Anyway, it was about saxophone music. You had posted that video, and I left a comment asking if you had ever heard of Spike Robinson. You may or may not have. Spike Robinson was not a clarinetist, good grief, he might have been, but he was a saxophonist from at the time when I knew who he was and met him, was living in Denver, and would come up and play genuine jazz in July up in Breckenridge. And I had always wondered if you met him. Spike Robinson was cool. I mean, Spike Robinson was laid back, super cool, played an alto sax. For those of you that don't know what an alto, well, he played a tenor sax. I played the stupid alto sax, which is fine. The alto sax, if you look at a saxophone, an alto sax is the one where it comes straight from the mouthpiece and makes a nice gentle curve. The alto sax comes out, kicks up a little bit back down, and then in there. It gives it just a little bit deeper sound and makes it it just gives it a better sound, I think. And I could always play the lower notes on my saxophone better than I could the high notes. Well, anyway, and this is probably not a conversation that interests hardly anybody. Hey, RG Homestead, good to see you.
I was enthralled.
When he would be playing his set, and when he'd get to his lull, when somebody else was playing, he'd reach up and just hang that saxophone on his shoulder, and he'd just be sitting there snapping his fingers, listening to the rest of the band play. And when it was his turn, he'd reach down under it and just pop it up, come up with it, and get going. But he was cool. I will tell a story, C103, because this is perfect timing since you know who he is. You may not know of Genuine Jazz in July. Breckenridge, Colorado, when I first moved up there, it was in July. First time I went through trying to decide where I wanted to live in Colorado, 1985, 86, whichever. And just because of that time of year, it just hit me real nice. Well, later on when I was living there, the town of Breckenridge puts on this jazz festival where they've got jazz artists from all over the place playing at different clubs. And it's about a 3-day event. I think it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you can buy a pass that'll get you into any of the clubs, and you can go in there and hang out. Well, the woman that I was with that night, we went to this one club because I knew he was going to be there, and I'd heard some of his stuff and really liked it. And we go in, and we walk in. The place is jam-packed. I mean, there's people standing along the walls, not a table anywhere. And I'm thinking, well, this kind of sucks. And I happened to notice this one kid sitting over by himself at a table, and nobody's sitting with him. And I thought, all right, doesn't hurt to ask. So I walked over there to him, tapped him on the shoulder, and he's sitting there, really digging the music, really into it. And I'm like, okay, this is somebody I can enjoy it with. And good night, Ben. Good to see you. But I asked him, I said, can we sit here with you? And he's like, yeah, come on, sit down, man. He, pulled the chairs out and helped us sit down. And, we shook hands and got his name, and it was pretty cool. And I was talking to him just as it was going on. I'm like, I said, this is pretty cool. And he said, oh yeah, man. He said, Spike, he said, man, he's great. He said, I love listening to him play. I thought, man, me too. We sat at the right table. When the band took their break, Spike Robinson came over and sat at the table where we were. This kid was his nephew. And so we got to sit there and visit with him and talk to him. And all of a sudden we were at the cool table for the whole night. And it was just pretty great. And he was a neat guy, really friendly, really good. Invited us to come down and, see him playing in Denver and come visit with him and that kind of thing. So it was just one of those really cool out of nowhere stories that I, like I say, I figured nobody in here will appreciate. Maybe except Mark.
That kind of stuff is actually really cool. We're sitting in a little hole in the wall bar, and these two great big old boys come walking in, and we knew who they were because you know who they are. And anyway, they asked for a drink, and she was the bartender. She gave them the drink. And she didn't know who they were. And I sat there and I just visited with them. And we talked about everything but what they did for a living. It was great. I sat there for an hour and a half and drank beer. And, well, they were drinking Crown. One was drinking Crown. One was drinking something else. Anyway, it was two of the Dallas Cowboy linemen.
Yeah. Yep.
They're like, man, we appreciate this. It's not often you go somewhere where nobody recognizes us. I knew who you were. I just didn't figure y'all wanted to talk shop.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that happens, you realize that some of these guys are just really cool. You come to find out that their nephew was one of the starting players for Snyder, so they were down to watch.
Oh heck! How about that? Since we're telling stories, I guess that's what we do here. I'll tell you another one. At the motel, Shannon, you will appreciate this. We had a guy come down one time, and his name was Rob, and I was like, okay, I can remember that. And he, reserved a room for indefinite. He was going to come down there. He just wanted to pay by the week. He was going to come down and do physical therapy. I was like, oh, cool, come on down. And so he came in, and I met him. He's kind of a tall guy, 6'3", something like that. No, maybe not quite that tall. I mean, he wasn't real big time tall, but he was a little bit tall. And I gave him his room, got him set up where he needed to be. And, he said, is it okay if I come in and pay, in a couple of days? I was like, yeah, that'd probably be okay. We usually want people to pay up front, but you can come pay tomorrow. Well, tomorrow came and he didn't come by. And, the next day came and he didn't come by, and I'm thinking, okay, I got some other deadbeat here that's going to try and, swipe a room from me and not pay. And so I started getting, a little bit aggravated. And so I went down one day, maybe about the third or fourth day he was there, and I went and knocked on his door, and I rousted him up. I was like, hey, I said, I don't know what's going on here. I said, you're supposed to pay the room. And he was like, well, I'm going to pay it. And I said, yes, damn right you're going to pay it. I said, I'm tired of waiting on you. I said, I don't want to have to, for anything to have to go badly, but you need to come pay. And so he did. And of course, I won't be able to see this picture probably very well. Well, his name his last name was Calloway, which didn't mean much to me. But at the time when we took this picture, after he and I got to be friends, I figured out who he was. The lady that did the cleaning for us came over. She saw me over there talking to him and had him at the office and collecting money. And she came in, black girl, Dorothy. She was like, "Was that Rob Calloway?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Do you know him?" She said, "Of course I know him." She said, "Everybody knows him." I said, "I don't know him." I said, he was trying to, get out of paying a room, I think. And she said, "He wasn't trying to get out of paying a room. Don't you know who he is?" I said, "No." She said, "That's the champ." I said, "The champ of what?" She said, "He's the heavyweight champ." I was like, "Really?" And I went and looked him up on the internet, and I thought, okay, it's probably just as well that I didn't jump tough with him.
Don't make me have to bust you up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, oh my gosh, that would be just my luck too.
You're in the movies and you reach forward and you tap the guy in front of you. Take off that hat, and he turns around, stands up and turns around, and it's Andre the Giant, and it wasn't a hat.
Yeah,
it was his head. Yeah, it's one of those moments.
Yeah, you say, "No, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to that other guy."
So that was my grandkid.
Anyway, Wes, you know that car that sits here in the driveway behind the camper, that Yukon or whatever it is. That's his car. It broke down. He said, "Could he park it here for a little bit?" And I said, "Yeah, that'd be fine." So I towed him over here, and we put it out there. And he's never come back for it. So I need to call him. I still got his phone number. I need to call him and get the title for it. See if I can get rid of it.
Do something with it.
It's been there too long. I drank a beer with Toby Keith one time, and same kind of thing there at Copper Mountain. He walked up and he looked familiar and leaned over. It was back when they would do West Fest, the big Western concert that Michael Martin Murphey, who I used to sort of know, they would put on. And this big guy, big boy, he was a big boy. He wasn't no little guy. Walked up to the bar. They're all dressed Western, and I said hello, and we talked for a couple of minutes and drank beer together and shook hands. And he walked off. And at first, I couldn't figure out who it was. I was like, I should know who that is. And it wasn't until he walked off that the bartender clued me in. I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Yes, Mel, that is a good reason to always be kind, at least at first.
I know a few famous people or met a few famous people, but most of my stories I don't tell in mixed company because it was like,
yeah, I understand.
All
right, so I'll tell another one.
That are okay to meet, and there's famous people it's not okay to meet.
I haven't come across any that wasn't okay to meet, I guess. Well, yeah.
Well,
No,
these didn't make their money with their clothes on, so.
Right. Exactly.
You'd be surprised that you get to meet when you run in, when you're delivering pizza. I used to watch the wrestling on the TV because it's like it might be real. It's probably not, but it might. There was always that. And then I go in there and dadgummit, the family. What the hell? It was dad and the boys. They were real big in the early 80s. Anyway, they're sitting in there with their arch enemies in the room drinking beer, and playing cards and crap, and I'm like handing them pizza, and I'm like, this is lame. They're supposed to hate each other. And what are y'all doing in a cheap motel anyway? Lose more money for beer.
Right.
What was their names?
Good night, McGregor. Thanks for coming in, brother.
And that's the other side of this. Like, I'm forgetting all my good stories. It sucks.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll tell another one. Mel might like this one then. We, back again when Christy and I were living in Breckenridge, that's where lots of famous people go. It's not hard to bump into somebody famous there. We saw several and met some, but we were at a little place called Salt Creek, and I may have told this story. If y'all have heard me tell this story, don't stop it. I'd love to hear myself tell it. We were at a little place called Salt Creek. It had a barbecue joint underneath and a dance hall up on top, and it was right downtown Main Street, Breckenridge. And went in there to eat and then go dance a little bit. And we sat down and got our food, and the waitress wouldn't bring any ketchup. And had tried to flag her a couple of times. Finally, the guy across the aisle from us at the table there got my attention. I looked over and he said, "You want this?" And he handed me his ketchup. And I was like, "Thank you. I appreciate that." And so I got that. And then the waitress came back around. Those people got up and left. And the waitress came back over. She said, "Wasn't that cool?" I said, "What?" She said, "He gave you this ketchup." I said, "Yeah." I said, "'Cause you didn't." And she said, "I've just been busy. I'm sorry." She said, "But you got his ketchup." I was like, "Yeah, I got his ketchup. So what?" She said, "Don't you know who that was?" I said, "No, I don't know who that was." She said, "That was Vince Gill." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess that is kind of cool. I mean, it didn't make it taste any better." So, Wes, Mel, fast forward to, this would have been about 1999, 2000, maybe right in there somewhere. It was before Ella was born, so that puts a time frame on it. Fast forward to about 2, 3, 4 years ago. Christy goes and does that show at Westfest, the Cowboy Symposium, not Westfest. She does the show at Ruidoso, New Mexico, the Cowboy Symposium, and they get country singers in there all the time. And some of my buddies here, Joel especially, they roll my eyes. I mentioned somebody famous I met, and they're like, "Okay, yeah, you're friends with all the stars." I'm like, "I'm not friends with them. I just met them, interacted somehow." And so I found out that Vince Gill was going to be one of the performers there. So and my buddy Joel knew about the ketchup, and I said, "Hey, Vince is going to be there." I said, "You mean tell him you said hi?" He said, "Yeah, tell him I said hello." I said, "Okay." I said, "I hadn't had a chance to thank him for the ketchup anyway." Now, Vince Gill, obviously, he didn't have a clue. He probably didn't remember it the next day. So Carol's back. Hi, Carol. So anyway, we're at the show, and I'm just messing with my buddy Joel, telling him about Vince Gill. I thought hopefully I'll just get to hear his music and won't even know. Well, it's the day we're getting set up. We're just starting to get Christy's booth set up, her and Connie. And I'm standing there, and I just got off the phone with my buddy Joel. And I said, "Hey," I said, "You still need to tell Vince Gill hi?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "All right." I hung up the phone with him, and I'll bet not 2 minutes later, here comes walking down the aisle, and I was like, "Holy cow, it's Providence." and he walked by, and I said hi, and he looked over and said hi, and I said, "Vince?" And he looks at me, he said, "Yeah." And I was like, "My gosh." I said, "Okay, dude." I said, "Forgive me for this." And I walked over to him. I said, "I promised a guy I would do this." I said, "You're not going to remember this, and you're going to be sorry you stopped here. But, a long time ago, I told him the ketchup story. I said, so I've never got to tell you thank you for the ketchup." I said, "So I appreciate that. And by the way, Joel said, tell you hello." And he's like, "Okay." And I backed away. And of course, then I flagged him, and so everybody knew who he was and wanted to get pictures and that kind of stuff. But I called Joel right back and sent him a text. I said, "Hey, Vince was just here." I said, "He said, tell you hello back." And of course, Joel was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." And then I sent him a picture, and he was like, then he's wondering, all right, does Rob really know him? Are they really friends or what? And no, Mel, it didn't taste extra amazing, but it was from Vince Gill, so it's still kind of cool.
There's some of the guys that I've always wanted to meet that, that most of the old ones though that I really wanted to hang out with, they're all gone now. So my music was always way older than everybody else my age. I don't know. That's just something I had to deal with.
Boy, God, I wouldn't want to be his driver. Good night.
There are some of the people out there that thought, "Oh, man, it's gonna be cool to meet this person." And you meet him, and you're like, "Okay, you're not that cool."
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
That's awesome. And people they gotta love that to a degree, just like, okay, they're just clueless and yep. Yeah. Hey, Anonymous, you might meet him someday, but You better put it off a while. And of course, all of y'all know that Waylon Jennings is from Littlefield. Now, I never knew Waylon, but his brother and I are good friends. I say good friends. We're reasonably good friends.
Well, it's like, I mean, Hoss Cartwright's little brother. I mean,
Yeah.
I ran into him all the time.
Yeah.
And it's weird. You had Hoss Cartwright, the guy that, that played him, Blocker. And then you had
Dan Blocker.
little brother, who was literally half his size. He was a diminutive individual. He was only, I don't know what was Matt, like maybe 5'6", 5'7", something like that. That was it. That's all there was.
Dan got it all, huh?
No, he was the guy that wired my welding shop.
Oh, okay. I know he's from something.
He was an electrician. He's still. I should have bought that Toyota off of him.
See, Dan was from Muleshoe, I think, for a while, and then from O'Donnell. Is that right?
Yoshua and O'Donnell, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He looks just like Dan, but just smaller, just half his size.
Yeah. What a lot of people don't realize, there are a lot of famous people from this area right here. I mean, you don't go very far from Lubbock, and there's a ton of famous singers and actors and that kind of stuff. Mac Davis, Buddy Holly, both from Lubbock. Yeah, just tons of stuff.
Back in he was a few years ahead of me or whatever, but me and Mac Davis ran the same circles.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually, one of the houses I lived in when I was a kid was the house he summered in on summer vacation. So when he go see his cousins and stuff, they lived in that house. And then I was like, whatever. And then, yeah, I mean, I ran into him a couple times. I wasn't impressed with him. I thought he was an asshole. But then he did write that one song about me, so I'm okay with it. He tried to make a. So,
Was it Von Erich? They wrestled.
yes, the Von Erich family or whatever. Anyway, yeah, they were all in there with their arch enemies and stuff. Like
They used to go eat at Jackson's and Pubs all the time.
yeah. Then it's weird. I mean, they're sitting in the cafe eating or whatever with the people that they were just trying to kill in the ring or whatever.
There was one of the you remember the shuttle that blew up over Texas here? Which one was that? Space shuttle.
Challenger.
No, Challenger was one that blew up on takeoff, I think.
There was more than one blown up.
Oh, yeah, there was one. The Challenger blew up back in about 1984 or 5 on liftoff. Christy watched that one from where she lived. But there was, Mel, I think it did. But there was one, it wasn't the Endeavor. It wasn't, oh, good night. Anyway,
Discovery.
The one that blew up, huh?
Discovery. Brandon B says Discovery.
Discovery. Yes, Brandon. That's right. Discovery. One of the astronauts on there, I used to play foosball against in Lubbock at a couple of the spots, and I just went blank on his name. And it's funny. I never really thought it really was his name because it was like McWonderful or I mean, that's not right, but I can't think of the name of which one it was, but of what his name was. But he was like this crazy good foosball player. I mean, like stupid good. I never did beat him. I don't think I even came close to beating him.
I hate foosball.
Huh?
I mean, I like the game, but I suck at it. So.
Oh well, yeah. I got pretty good for a while. I played recess.
To be good at foosball, you have to be a spaz. I'm sorry.
Pretty close.
You have to be like all up in it, and I can't get that excited about spinning little dudes. I mean, I like it, but the guys I was playing with, they were entirely too serious, so I never could really enjoy the game.
You said spin little dudes. That's just some.
I mean, come on, what are you doing? You're like, and I mean, yeah, it's a dangerous game. You could put an eye out with those things. It would help, I guess, if I'd ever actually won a game. It was a little annoying losing.
Yeah.
But and then you got the guys who like to play foosball that want to come over and play pool the same way, and you're just like, dude, you need to calm down.
Say hi to everybody. Whoop, hang on.
Hi, Happy Hair.
Anybody.
There we go. Yep.
Hi.
She's going to Lubbock to pick up Cornelius.
Hey, give her a hug and a peck on the cheek before you tell her it's for me.
Oh, Columbia. It was to Columbia. That's right. The Challenger blew up over Florida. Columbia blew up over Texas. Thank you. Thank you. It's going to make me crazy if I can't think of his name now. McCool, yep. McCool. I told you it was one of those kind of names, McCool. Yep, William McCool. I don't remember his name being William. Bill. Yeah, we didn't. I think we just call him McCool. I don't think we call him William. Oh, Wes left and he muted his microphone. How about that? Hey, Monty, good to see you, bud. Catch back up here. Christy. Wait, what? Oh, that's how slow I am. I was sitting there thinking, who's Christy? Mel said, drive safe, Christy. I'm like, who the heck is Christy? Scrolling. That's bad. I was scrolling up through the comments to see who is Christy? Who did I miss being in here? Wow. Pretty sad. Pretty sad. Oh, good job, Monty. You gonna put what are you gonna put in it? Wes says BRB. If it said BSB, that would be brown sugar bourbon. And there, yes, there really is such a thing. Krista McAuliffe. Oh, no kidding. How about that? See, like second grade. Well, Mel, you're very young then. Thanks for rubbing that in. Hey, ZPD, how are you? King, wait. Walter, ZPD, who is King? King did the coin toss. And I guess ZPD is out of here, and I didn't even know he was in here, so he's been lurking all this time. Peppers, tomatoes, good call, Monty. God, in the old Dodge truck, the old company making gaskets that failed. Ooh, he said they were a bad design, but NASA didn't listen. Maybe Blade Runner. Huh, how about that? Yeah, probably, maybe Mel, who knows? Columbia blew up on re-entry. Yep, exactly, Dior, exactly. I hate that I didn't think about those. Oddly enough, something interesting, when I say it blew up over West Texas, it really did. One of the parts of the shuttle, the furthest part west, was found about 4 miles east of my house in a field out there. So that's how close to home it kind of was here. No, Mel, it wasn't that you spelled her name wrong. I'm just a space cadet, and I couldn't put two and two together. I'm used to everybody saying goodnight to people in the chat when they leave, and so that's kind of what I thought I'd missed. So no, and no, her name is spelled Christy, but still, that wouldn't have helped. I'd have still been like, who was in the chat? Oh, Billie Jean King. No kidding. For bed. Billie Jean King did the. How about that? Wonder what kind of symbolism there was in that. So I'm curious. While everybody's here, is anybody else seeing what's our update on shortages at the grocery store? Empty shelves, that kind of thing. What stuff are y'all seeing that people can't find? Makes me wonder if we should all keep up with that kind of thing so everybody knows what they might want to stock up extra on before it runs out in their area. Although I don't really think it works that way. It just seems to be random and hard to predict what kind of things are going to be out at any given place. How about that, Walter? That's interesting. Diorce, what part of Florida are you in, by the way? I'm curious. You down in South Florida? You up in the Panhandle on the Redneck Riviera? Or where are you, dude? And ammo, yeah. Boy, Walter, ammo prices are not coming down. They're supposed to come down by now, but they're not doing it. I want to stock up a little bit more, but I am loath to spend the money at how much stuff is right now. But it's that whole thing. It's the gamble. Do you buy it now in case it goes up higher, or do you buy it now and then watch it go lower and it gets stupid? Yeah, exactly, Diorce. Very random. So stay on top of it. Good call, ZPD. Good call.
I think it's pretty prudent to make sure your regular use pantry is stocked. Like,
yeah,
not just your long term. Everybody's like, long term. Right now, I'd be worried about just making sure that I can, make spaghetti or stew or, something.
Yep.
So.
Yep, exactly. Hey, Wes, I'll put a question to you here. What do you suppose? It just occurred to me. What do you think possibly might be the number one underrated food prep or food storage item? What do you think it might be? If you had to pick one you think that people are going to really get caught off guard on and wish they had, what do you think it's going to be?
Your average prepper, not your
not super prepper or anything like that, but just the average person that's wanting to make sure they got food put back.
People are going to be willing to do anything for bread. They're not. Nobody's prepping any way to make bread, man.
Yeah, maybe so. I was thinking cooking oils.
Yeah, cooking oil. Yeah, that people don't buy your cooking oil. That's the other one. But that's the thing. You can't make bread without oil.
Yeah.
But I've actually got to throw some out because we keep so much back that I miss rolling it. I pulled the wrong one forward.
On oil?
Well, on cooking grease or whatever, and I guess you could use it for seasoning cast iron skillets and then make some.
Yeah. You're making candles
or something in it or whatever.
Right.
No, it smells pretty good, man. I'm not cooking with that stuff. So
no, yeah. When the oil gets rancid, it gets rancid quick. I had a carton of lard in here that, in fact, that's something I get all kinds of ideas for videos and then forget about them. But it was a container of lard, just plain old lard, that we've been using out of for just over a year. But we don't use a lot of oils and greases and stuff like that when we cook, and so a little bit lasts us a long time. But it was the one that was open, the one we were using, and so I think from the time we bought it until it went rancid was just over, I think it was 2.5 years if I remember right, but it's been open for well over a year. So we're mostly okay with that. I think if you keep them sealed up, and that's the trick. That is why oils go rancid. A lot of people don't realize rancid oil is a product of oxidation, which is what rust is. Rust is an oxide, and oils do the same thing. They interact with the oxygen, and it causes them to start going bad until they get to the point where it degresses into where it gets rancid. So, yeah.
the stuff that makes when something starts to rot or go rancid or whatever, it's bacteria. Most of the bacteria on the planet or in the galaxy, the universe, whatever, have to have oxygen. Some of them don't, but the ones that make everything smell really pretty and taste really bad, they do. So yeah, as long as you keep it sealed and out of the sun, you're okay.
Yep.
That the one that went bad is one that but it was a year and a half past Best Buy, and we're really cautious on the Best Buy. That's something else, people. I want y'all to notice, and if you weren't paying attention before, it's not going to register like it does with us. We've been paying close attention to the Best Buy dates. 2 years ago, when you bought something, the Best Buy date, you had a year on it. Now you're buying stuff and it's got 2, 3, 4-year Best Buy.
And Wes isn't talking about best BUY. He's talking about best BY, like what most people refer to as the expiration date of a food.
Right. And that means that everything that's hitting the store now, they just put in them cans. It hasn't been warehoused somewhere waiting for the shelf to get empty. This stuff was canned. That you notice they don't ever put born on dates on canned foods. I wonder why they don't put born on dates on there.
No wonder. Well,
because they can put it in the shelf a year before it goes, it's out of its best buy, and people are, oh, this is still good, and which it is. I mean, I that one thing I was 12 years past the best buy. That luncheon meat or whatever, it was still fine. I've still got another can in there. I hadn't thrown it away. The other one was great. I'm going to eat this other one.
Heck yeah. I wonder how many people will remember that when we were doing. I put out that expired foods challenge. Find something that I know anonymous.
Anonymous remembers it real good. Dude, there's still some of that 12-year-old tuna and corn and stuff in that barn. I could go get it. We can make a stew.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I regularly eat canned oysters and sardines and things like that have an expiration date. Vienna sausages that had the best buy date of somewhere in 2009, 2011. That's 10 years old. I ate those MREs that were from back in the late 80s, early 90s. I don't remember what the date on those. I found one of the most crazy things that I found one time was a package of cream cheese. And you can buy packages that have the flavored cream cheese. Sometimes it's pineapple, sometimes it's herb. Well, this one was salmon cream cheese. And it was just a few years ago that I ate that, and it was from back in about 1994. So it was easily 20 years old cream cheese, still sealed up, hadn't been opened. And I opened it expecting it to be nasty. And then I tasted it expecting it to be nasty, and it was really good. I ate that whole thing.
I found some cream cheese that had been in the refrigerator a really, really long time, and I thought, oh, this is going to be nasty. I went in and smeared it on. I didn't have a bagel. I just put it on toast. You know what? It was still fine. It had been, I know it had been in there in the refrigerator a year and a half.
Yeah.
So as long as it's, just sniff it. If it smells okay, it's probably okay.
That's your nose knows, man. That God gave us. If you don't believe in God, you can say whatever, but the nose is built to pick up. We're not as good as a dog, obviously, but we can pick. If something's bad, 90% of the time we can pick it up. Hey, Mike, good to see you, man.
If I held it down to my dog and she turns her nose up and walks away, I'm not going to eat it.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't always trust my dogs. I'll give them something good sometimes. I got these two, everybody doesn't know, I've got these two great old big Pyrenees dogs, both of them well over 100 pounds. And I'll give them something that there's nothing wrong with, but they'll take it and hold it in their mouth like, oh, I don't know, just like they're trying not to even taste it. and they'll take it over somewhere and drop it down and sniff it a few times. Sometimes they'll eat it, sometimes they won't. But it's crazy. You'd think a dog just snap up anything, not these guys.
Well, that's Shallow's the same way. He's, he'll eat. Hyde won't eat a biscuit for nothing. You throw a biscuit to Sadie, she's gonna chomp on that puppy. The one dog I got that'll hunt is a biscuit eating sow. She's
Okay, I got to ask Wayne about this powdered honey. I don't think I've ever seen or heard of powdered honey.
Yes.
I'm not sure how you would do that. I guess you could dehydrate honey.
powdered honey you can get. I don't waste my money on the powdered peanut butter. There's no food value in it.
Is there not?
They take all the oils and everything out. You still got the proteins and stuff, but there's zero fats in it.
Okay.
You have to if you hydrate it with oil, it has some food value. It has calories. Other than that, it just got proteins and stuff. And without calories, you can't digest proteins. So it's a waste of food. If you don't have, if the calories are not in the protein, that's why a steak needs to be marbled, grass-fed, extra lean beef. You will starve to death on that crap, and it tastes like. Why would you even want to eat that? I mean, geez, give the cow some corn before you kill it. You sorry person. But yeah, you've got to have the calories to digest the proteins, folks.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you got to have the water too. That's something a lot of other people don't realize is that the body uses up a lot of your water to digest your food. Which I guess case in point, if you don't have any food, if you don't have much water, don't eat much food because you're going to need it.
Yeah, it's you need ounce for ounce on digesting.
Maybe. I don't remember. I was thinking it might be a little more than that, but maybe. I can't say for sure.
Why do you think that almost everything our ancestors ate was done in a giant pot and looked like soup or stew?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I got to run do something right quick. Can y'all, Wes, can you take this just for a couple of minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can completely destroy your channel in 2 minutes. Watch this.
I muted it while I was still talking. That's how smart I am. Yeah, go for it. I don't have much to lose, so go crazy.
All right. I'll try to be nice. But did you say you got the caldo heated up?
No, I said you said like soups. I said yeah, like that delicious caldo we had.
Yeah, we had some caldo. It's really good. We made stewy stuff. Anyway, the downside to storing honey is it turns into crystals. So anyway, I don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about something super duper fun and exciting while Rob's gone. Does anybody know anything super duper fun and exciting? If you've got a crazy cat lady as a neighbor, you're not going to have any rats to eat. So run her off. Make her take the cats with her. That way, because rat tastes way better. It's like so much better than cat. It's not even funny. Cat's really stringy and hard to chew and annoying. So, think don't depend on wild game to eat. Carol is off the phone. Why were you doing on your phone? It's not for walking on. That they make sandals for walking on. You get 2 of them, put 1 on each foot. And I guess storing the dried peanut butter, and then instructions say to reconstitute with water, but I'm like, why? But I guess if you put a little bit of oil in there, it would be okay. Oh, okay. You're still making him walk on broken glass and stuff, which is prudent. Got to make sure they're willing to go that extra mile. Storage, people, don't cut corners on your storage. Don't make any assumptions. The weevils are real. We had weevils in some spaghetti we bought, and since when do weevils get in spaghetti that's fresh? They don't. Those were in there. Those were in there when we bought them. So some of this stuff that's coming into the stores is already a little on the wild side. So be careful. Check your dates on everything. Don't just grab it because it's on the shelf. Check the date. See how long it's been in that box. Well, do you know the guy? And this is today on Rob Painless' Survival and Outdoor channel. We're going to give some dating advice to all you single ladies. Don't date him if you don't know who he is. The end. Guys, never tell the truth online. They're just as bad as the ladies. They're not going to tell you the truth. Well, 99.9% of them are lying. So, yeah. You don't know them, you don't know them. Just be careful. Treat that first 6, 10, 12, 20 dates like drug deals. Make sure it's in a public place. Treat it sketchy. Okay. Now you can buy if you can buy Ritz crackers, I would suggest you do it nowadays. I can't buy crackers in this town for nothing. Everybody talks about this shortage or that shortage. What about the cracker shortage, for crying out loud? There's a cracker shortage.
Well, we can get Ritz crackers, but we got graham crackers.
We got graham. That's what I don't understand. They're flipping Ritz crackers, but they got graham crackers out the earballs. And the graham crackers are cheap. Graham crackers aren't cheap. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you. My apologies. I know that was rude. I thought of something I had to go do outside, so I went and took care of it. Now I don't have to think about it again.
Excellent. While you were gone, we've got Carol engaged, and
Cool.
Life is going to officiate.
Cool. I want to go. I'll spike the punch.
I can't say cracker.
You can say cracker.
I can say cracker.
You.
I can't call Rob a cracker.
I'm okay with it. I have been called worse, probably by you.
Probably. I showed the wife what you did in the top of the barn today with the lumber and stuff, and she goes, he missed spots. She pointed
Yes.
to the big holes in the roof.
Yes.
What
Thank
was
you.
wrong with him? Why didn't he finish?
Yes. Thank you, Mrs. West. I did miss some spots.
Not really. She was thoroughly impressed.
Cool.
And then
Yeah.
she was
Now
like,
we need to
okay,
get back
let's
and
take
do
this
more.
camera thing. So,
I told Happy here we got a dance floor in there now, so she was happy about that. Stalker Steve, hey brother. Well, you weren't kidding about Carol. Wait a minute.
So that's what you get for missing my live streams, bro.
Yeah, I know it. You got to start sending me text messages. I'm telling you, my phone, Wes, I get messages on my phone sometimes 2 or 3 days after something happens. The notifications, I don't know what the heck the deal is. But it's aggravating. I can tell you that.
Dove Season 91. That's a new person.
It is a new person. Love the Thank you, Dove Season. Yes.
I don't know Stalker Steve. I don't know Dove Season. Jason Life don't come visit me on my channel. She don't like it.
Hey, I hadn't seen her in a while. I honest to goodness, was getting concerned.
Chance B pops in every once in a while, but he's not real common. Oh man used to come around, but then all of a sudden he got live. Mark comes over sometimes. Carol's over there once in a while. Wayne, that ungrateful dude, he's over there sometimes, but he's usually doing something else. He's just like got me playing in the background because I have a soothing voice. The ladies watch; they just turn the volume down and just watch me, and then the guys turn the picture off and just listen to my voice because just my voice going into their ears by osmosis makes them more manly.
Yeah, what do they call that? ASMR?
Yeah, or something.
If I would have thought about that ahead of time, I'd have come up with some clever words to fit that acronym, but I wasn't thinking ahead. So you're welcome. Soothing and sexy, exactly, Adam.
Yep.
Or something like
or something. Man, do you get those comments on your channel? You'll do a video and your voice is so relaxing. I'm like, okay.
I don't.
I guess.
I don't. Oh, okay. Miss Southern Belle sent you over. We'll have to thank her for that. Appreciate that. By the way, I Dove Season 91, I hope you'll share the story of what that means, because Wes and I both like to hunt dove as well. And I didn't shoot the first one this year because it wasn't hard. Boy, I have had a pretty rotten. No, I take it back. I did shoot one dove just because I think. No, I got more than that. My little brother came down and went hunting, but I dang sure didn't shoot any cranes, and I hadn't. I've been pathetic. I do hope to get a couple of hogs this weekend, though.
Oh, my wife may have found me a place to hog hunt. But
cool. Wes, if I get an extra hog, you want it?
Yeah, unless he's boar tainted. But,
well, obviously, yeah.
I'll take him quartered.
I'm waiting for you.
We were cruising through the small town of Lorraine yesterday.
Yep, I know where it is. Anyway,
my daughter is driving because she didn't want to be in the passenger seat, so she was driving. Anyway, I apologize if this sounds like a racial slur of some kind. It's just what we grew up calling them. My apologies. Just go with it. It's all meant for humor and comedy. I'm not trying to bust anybody's balls. Leave mine alone. Okay?
I know where you're going.
Anyway, this covey of birds flew up, and she's like, phew, she did the little air deal. I'm like, quit shooting those over Mexican quails.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? I said, those are not quails. Those are not dove. You don't shoot them. Those are Mexican quails. The only people that come back and say, I got a bunch of quail today you know what I'm talking about. You know what they look like. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got some here.
You know what? I don't shoot them, but I have eaten them because
birds. And Chance, I haven't seen
a rule. You shoot it, you eat it. And so I have eaten Mexican quail. It's actually it's a little tough, but it's not bad.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, Chance, I haven't seen a pheasant in a while. I haven't been pheasant hunting in a while. I know they're out there, but the drought years that we've had here have been awful hard on them. So it's tougher that way. Uh, Adam asked about dove hunting. You can use dogs. I know people that use dogs to find them. It sure makes it a lot easier. Typically, we don't. Typically we're the bird dogs. We drop a bird out there, we go figure out where it is. Mostly dove hunting, you just sit there and wait for them to fly to you. You don't go out walking them like you do quail or like you do pheasants. It's just a stationary kind of a hunting thing.
That's very funny, Mark.
Yes, I saw that.
Anyway, yeah, I had a dog that I trained to hunt dove, and I was like, man, she sucks at this, because I thought, she was like not finding them, and you couldn't find out she was finding them. She was just go stacking them up and saving them for herself for later.
I have seen that. Heck yeah, Chance, there should be great pheasant hunting here. Hey, the Swedes. Hey, brother, thanks for being here. Good to see you.
The
Gamble's quail are pretty. That's kind of like a scaled quail or almost like a blue quail, I think, if I remember.
the dove at that property over there, Rob, today they weren't flying up from us. It was like
Really?
they weren't scared at all.
They know it's not hunting season now. They're not worried. Right beside, amen, Steve. Right beside the taters and gravy. Amen, Mel. That's exactly right. That is a shame. I'm gonna have to go light my furnace here in a second. It is cooling off.
Yeah, the guys that dumped the oil on my deal, I'm pretty sure they were working the season across the railroad tracks. And then they were going to go home. They went and got the stuff, and they drove over there, changed the oil in their truck, and took off.
That would make sense. They probably camped out and spent the night there before they hit the road. That would make sense with that little fire pit they had.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
And I know they got their oil and stuff at Sweetwater at the Walmart, because they stopped there and got their groceries. I found their
receipt.
Found their meat packages and stuff.
How about that? Yeah, we got to get a couple of better cameras up west. If I can figure out where those 2 game cameras I've got are, they're not wireless or remote or whatever you want to call it, but they will take pictures and record them. So, I keep thinking maybe we could set one up across the street over there, on that right of way, even though we're probably not supposed to. But if we camouflage it, maybe nobody'd notice, and they would get maybe a better picture of the front of your property.
Yeah,
hey, Chipper.
There's a decent sized tree across the way.
Yep.
That's far enough off the road that I think a real tree or a real tree camo would hide up in. I know it'd hide in the spring, but
I think mine is I don't know if it's a real tree or what it is. Hey, Vanessa Kitty's here. Good to see her. Leave a can of sugared gas out there. I don't, Chipper, I thought about that. We talked about tire spikes and different things. I don't know if they would use, it'd be our luck. They'd steal the gas can and dump the gas.
It's just weird that the guy left his tools and stuff there, man. He left
No, I didn't see that.
Unless they were stolen tools. He left a $10 crescent wrench, and probably a $30 spanner.
Really? That's weird.
And a $15 gas can, and a little $2 Stanley screwdriver.
That doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
Bonus for you, I guess.
No, they took them for evidence.
Yeah, I guess they would. Did you
scoop up? But the guy's name was on the tools.
How about that?
Last name. There's only one guy that owns property in that county with that last name.
Did you put some dirt on top of that oil? Just pile some dirt on it so it'd soak it up?
I went and got kitty litter and put on it and swept that off, and then went and got some naphtha and poured out on it and threw some that there's some of that crushed up mortar from salvaging the bricks. I threw that on there. It soaked up a lot of it. If I get that swept off of there and then do the naphtha again, and if I do it one more time, I can get rid of most of the stain, I think. And I know it's not a big deal because it's just going to be like the driveway or whatever, but
Yeah, still, it's just annoying.
it's annoying, man.
What is our next project there? What are we going to do next out there?
I do not know. Not
I
this
will probably,
weekend, but
I
the
will
weekend.
probably post that video. We'll keep talking over each other. I'll probably post that video on Wednesday. Sorry, go ahead.
That's fine. If next weekend, my Tyler will be here. I'm hoping he's not busy. I want to try to get him down there to get him to screw down the rest of that tin. That's
Oh, yeah.
and then
Yeah, that'll be good.
try to put up skylight tin.
Right.
Skylights in there.
How many pieces of that do you have?
28
Wow, that ought to do it.
or something like that. Believe it or not, it was part of a interior. They'd used it on some interior decorating. Doesn't even have holes in it.
Huh.
They had it hanging up inside of a building. And they were like, well, just take that and go throw it in the dumpster. I was like, okay, not a problem. It's been stacked up out there in the yard. I think some of it blew off during one of those storms or whatever. I
Uh-huh.
don't know how many pieces I have left, but I brought 28 of them home. And so it was enough. I was like, okay, there it is. There's the greenhouse. And then I never did get around to building it. So
How big of a piece are you going to leave off the top for the smoke to get out, or are you?
I am going to.
Are we going to get that stove put in and not have to have just the open smoke?
The actually I looked at it and I think I can get that. Damn it, that cyclone
The cyclone, yep.
over there to the barn. It'll take me all day to do it by myself, but I think I can get it over there.
Before you cut it or after?
I will probably have to roll it over and cut the because the inlet isn't. It's made into the cyclone on this one, and so
Yeah.
I can't just roll it over and unbolt it. So I'll probably have to figure out some way to get it cut off there because that's not. I'm gonna guess that's probably 14 gauge iron. It's pretty heavy duty.
It is pretty heavy duty.
Um,
We'll have to get us some new Sawzall blades and probably both of us bring our cordless Sawzalls.
well, if I can get my
Or torch
generator
it.
over there, I can cut it with nibblers. But,
Oh, I've never used one of those.
man, you don't want to rub your hand down the edge that they leave, but they will cut some stuff.
We can
You
take
talk
a-
about serrated knife. There, you just made one.
Yeah,
They will cut some metal.
yeah, that'll be good.
Duckbills are okay too, but duckbills, where is she?
Yeah. Yep, that'll be good. For those of y'all that are not sure what we're talking about, a cyclone inside of any kind of a shop or industrial application that moves a lot of air is basically a big whirlwind collection machine that basically pulls the dirt and the heavy dust and stuff out of the air and collects it into a bag or something else, and they can use it for getting rid of dust or for collecting small particles or whatever else. The particular cyclone Wes is talking about, this machine, machine's not quite the right word, but for what we're doing, this one is probably about 8 feet from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Bigger than that?
No,
What
I
do you
thought you were going to say sideways. Well, I'm not putting that big sub-bitch in there. But
No.
go ahead.
Anyway, so
before I make faces.
you make all the faces you want, brother. This one's probably about 8 feet from what would be the top to the bottom when it gets stood up, and probably about 6, maybe 5.5 feet around.
It's about actually from the base of it is from the concrete to my collarbone right here. So it's right at 5 foot across the bottom. So, and
it is shaped kind of like a top that you would spin, like if the old tops that you would wrap a string around and throw it and get it spinning. It's shaped kind of like that. But when we're done with it, it's going to be more like an inverted funnel, turned upside down. The idea is to be able to build a fire up under it and it collects the smoke like a chimney. Is kind of what we're thinking about even. And then we'll vent the pipe up through the roof so that it'll exhaust out and smoke, and we'll be able to have a good fire in there without smoking it all up, which is not bad, especially in there with that tall ceiling it's got. In fact, the ceiling, what did we decide, Wes? The ceiling was about 16 feet, I think, to the peak. And so when you build a fire in there, unless the wind swirls it around, the smoke goes way up to the top and you can't even tell it's there. Correct, man. Yep, that's exactly right. Yeah, look at that. Everybody knows what we're talking about. We're in good company here.
Smart people in the room. Holy
yes,
crap.
we do. What are they doing here with us?
I was going to see if I actually had a picture of one of the cyclones. I think I have a picture of the big cyclone. Or one of the big ones. The one that's still up there that they didn't try to steal for scrap already.
Oh, yeah.
That I'm bound and determined to figure out some way to turn into a water catchment tank. I have pictures of me in the desert. Does that count? No? Okay.
Vanessa Kitty, what do you do? What do you work on that you make sawdust? Have you got a little wood shop? Do you make some cool stuff and we don't know about that? Because I don't know about that.
About what?
Vanessa, I could put up, yeah, there we go. A professional would have put up the comment before he started talking about it, but it's me.
Do not have a picture of the cyclone on my phone anymore. Actually, anybody that's wondering what we're talking about, all you have to do is go watch a commercial for the Dyson vacuum cleaner. You know, the guy that invented the cyclone technology, so you don't have to have a filter on your bag. Please. And when you take his vacuum cleaner apart, there's a filter.
Yep. Hey, by the way, let me just throw this out here. We are going to throw a dance in this building when we get it done. The building is 50 by 21, and it's got a concrete floor in there, and it's good enough concrete floor to dance on. And we think it would be really cool at some point. We can have a big preppers dance and camp out there, and you are all invited. Now, Wes didn't say that. Rob said that, so that may be subject to change. But how cool would that be to have a whole bunch of people in our prepping community, or just, the people that hang out with us, show up there for a dance and a good cookout and that kind of stuff? I think that'd be a good time.
There will be a small cover charge. Ladies, there will be a pole installed. Guys, stay off of it. Or not that kind of dance.
We can have more than one.
We can have more than one. Yeah. I actually mentioned that you said something about the dance, and she goes, "Yeah, we can do that." So yeah, I'm outvoted, so we'll have the dance.
Cool. We're down.
I think she wants the roof on it first.
Yeah,
So
and well, of course, yeah, the roof and probably some windows, maybe some door, at least some screen windows and doors in case by the time we do it, it getting buggy. It'd be nice to be able to keep mosquitoes out.
I have the measurements for the doors,
Ah, cool.
and I'm not going to put doors in there. I'm just going to make barn doors.
Wes,
Oh.
there's all that hardware cloth at that old gin at the co-op. That would be great material for screening over those windows until we get plexiglass or something like that in them. Plus Evan is fixing to put new windows in his house. That means they're going to pull the old windows out, and he don't want them. I bet we could take those down there and figure out a way to attach them over the windows that are there.
Honestly, if the windows are there and they're smaller, close to or smaller than because the woodwork's still there for the windows, we could frame in whatever we needed to make the new windows work.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's cool that the old windows actually they're there and they still work, but
getting glass in them.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with putting new windows in. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if we just have to attach them to the outside or inside so you can get to them better and be able to open them like that. That's still.
I do like the idea of putting the hail screen over hardware cloth over the outside of it, though, because that keeps a beer bottle from going through your brand new windows.
Good point. Heck yeah. Yeah. So we may have to do that. You may have to get up here and we'll go over there and see if there's a bunch of that left over there. We'll gather it up.
You know, honestly,
or whatever else.
I'll just make them up there and just start putting stuff out of that old gin into the back of my truck. There's all kinds of stuff in there that I want for this property. I forgot that was there.
Yeah. No, I was just about to say that. We can strap out whatever we need to. Ooh, Vanessa, I want to go
door off the press, man.
Huh?
Somehow or another, we need to get the door off that moat press. Dude, we could shoot with a 50 caliber and it wouldn't go through.
Oh my
gosh!
gosh!
Way to move it. It's
wow.
Come on. Talk about a bullet stop from hell.
We need Mark and Chance and a couple other big old boys down here to help us with that.
We're gonna need a forklift, dude. That's that's 2 tons of steel, man. But once you got it set, you're not going to knock it down with anything. You hit that with your truck. You're going to need a new truck.
Crap! I'm not sure the building is strong enough to support those. We'll have to pour some concrete.
It's well, I don't want it down here. I want it somewhere. I mean, can you just spray paint a dot on it and then go back 200 yards and go ding. And just come back to you.
Oh man,
that would be. I can't believe ain't nobody been out there in the gym just shooting that door myself. There may be. There's probably just a coating of lead powder.
Yeah. Wait, Vanessa, are you for whatever reason, Vanessa Kitty, I had pictured you at being about 40 years old, so you're close to my age. My goodness.
Love you too, daughter. You going to bed? Yeah. Hold on, give me a hug.
Not Kristen. Kirsten, I did it again.
You did it again. You called you Kristen.
Rude.
Not on purpose. And Vanessa Kitty, I want to go flounder fishing too. I like flounder or halibut as they're called on the other side of the continent.
Yeah, that's one of them.
They're good fish, good eating.
There's the flounder who got lost and floundered around until he was sideways. And then there's the halibut, which is always going around the bottom trying to look at your butt. They're both sideways fishes.
I want
flatfish.
Catch one of those Goliath fishes in the ocean.
I caught a Goliath grouper once. It was a baby.
I want to catch a big one, like that guy off of the TV show. Caught one that was like this big.
Yeah.
It took, how long it took him to reel it in? Over an hour and a half.
I don't know.
But I want like a medium-sized one that just takes me maybe 20 minutes. Like that's about all I got in me.
I want to sit out there and catch about 10 grouper, but I want them to all be about yesty long.
It is, Mel.
We're going to have us a fish fry.
Okay, Adam, how are they different? I thought really, I actually thought flounder and halibut were just pretty much almost the same fish. I mean, I guess of course they aren't the same; they are different. But both of them start off, if I'm right, both of them start off like this with an eye on each side of the head, and then as they get older, somewhere within the first year and a half, the other eye migrates around and comes around, so they're both on the same side.
Halibut
And
and
Seward, that's where I went fishing out of Vanessa Kitty, was out of Seward. We went out in the water from there. Heck yeah, great place. There in Homer. We didn't go out of Homer, but that's where I learned about halibut was in Homer.
I've never caught a halibut. I've caught a flounder. I know you use pliers to take the hook out.
You better. Black sea bass. Vanessa's black sea bass like a black cod. And lean. Oh, lean cod. Yes, I've never had lean cod. I've had black cod, but not lean. I don't think. Oh, okay. Halibut get bigger. Yeah. When we caught the halibut we caught were, they call them the chickens, not the barn doors, and they were in the 50 to 60 pound range. Really, really good eating, and we got 4 of them.
What flounders? I think they max out 20 or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. A 249 pound flounder. So I guess they do get bigger.
Huh. I never seen one that big. Now I've seen huge halibut.
Uh-huh. Exactly, Steve. Chance, good night, brother. I am looking forward to you getting down here and getting to shake hands with you. That's going to be a good time, man. Sip some bourbon. And yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
I went and checked the creek. I may go go catch some of those perch that I let go and do me a cook up at the barn.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's pretty cool, Vanessa. I had an uncle that was bass fishing for largemouth bass one time, and he had hooked a little 1 pound, 1.5 pound bass, good, and he was looking forward to it. And on the way reeling it in, it got hit by about a 7.5 or 8 pound bass, and he reeled both of them in, and just left them connected until he got back home to show everybody. A 400 pound halibut, heck yeah.
The weirdest fishing story I have is I was a kid, and there's at Buffalo Springs Lake, and I felt something hit my bait, so I started reeling in, and there was a fish, so I reel it in, and I've caught a perch. It's a decent sized perch. I mean, it was a big perch for me because I was a little kid, but I hadn't caught the fish. The fish somebody else had caught it and it had swallowed their lure or their hook. So they just unclipped it and turned it loose with the snelled string on it. And when it had hit my bait, it missed it. But when I went to set the hook, my hook went into the snell, the loop on the hook that was.
How about, what are the odds?
It's just, what are the odds? It's once in a lifetime deal. And I was like, look. And I was all excited. My mom was like, that's cool. And I said, are we going to let it go? She goes, no. So he didn't luck out twice.
Well, I'll tell you a fishing story. It's kind of like that too. And what didn't happen to me, it happened to a friend of ours who we just had his funeral recently. Some of my mom and dad's good friends, my little sister, people we went to church with here in Littlefield. And his name was Eldon. His daughter and my sister were and pretty much are best friends. Hey, Rusty, good to see you here, bud. He up in Pagosa Springs up there where we go when Happy Hair has her show there. We're camped up at Wolf Creek Pass. There's a little lake there. And Eldon was out there fishing and had not caught anything and was disgusted and ready to give up because my dad and a couple other of their friends were catching. Eldon saw his line move or his pole move, and he reeled in a stringer that had 8 trout on it, 8 fish on it, reeled in the whole stringer. And of course, he, all of a sudden now he's got more fish and everybody's giving him a hard time, about it and having fun. And so he brings the stringer up and hooks it on to his stringer. He throws back out there again. Next cast, about 2 minutes later, sees his pole moving. He reels in a second full stringer of fish out there. Again, what are the odds of something like that?
Wow.
2 casts in a row. But people, it's one of those lakes for tourists, fish around. It's just little stalkers, nothing major. But, 2 different people. And that happens all the time. And I knew that. And it still does. People don't think about attaching their stringer, and the fish get to working around. And once in a while they work together and all get back out in the middle of the little lake again.
Yep.
How about when Chris really caught that boot at Sweetwater?
Oh yeah. It's my nephew were fishing and we were actually catching this fish and he feels something. He starts feeling it, and he's fighting this thing like crazy. And he finally gets it up, and it's literally a boot.
Wow.
Like the cartoons that you see the guys reeling in the boot. He's like, boot. Did he keep that or not? I can't really wanted to, I think. But the whole work boot with the tongue hanging out and the steel toe showing the whole 9 yards. It was just straight up out of a cartoon.
Yeah.
And
just figure out how to cook it.
That's the one.
Vanessa, when my wife and I were in Alaska, we fished up there. We went and fished for king salmon and halibut were the 2 main big ones. We shipped back between the salmon and the halibut right at 200 pounds of fish that we froze and FedExed back home to a friend who just passed away. I'm losing too many friends. He took it, put it back in the freezer, said when it got there, it's still frozen good and solid. We packed dry ice inside the FedEx boxes and shipped it back. And we ate fresh halibut and salmon for a couple of years. It was awesome.
I've never got to fish for halibut, Rusty. I don't know. I'd like to find out. I don't. All I need to do is move Alaska further south. That's the real reason on them giant group. Everybody cuts them loose. I mean, yeah, everybody needs to catch one, but dude, can you imagine trying to eat something that big? So a 250-pound grouper is going to be gritty as can be.
And that's what all the boat captains and stuff, the people, we were in Alaska long enough that we got to meet a lot of people, and they all told us, it's really cool. It's, something to get a great picture with if you catch a big 400-pound, 2 or 3 400-pound halibut. They said, but they're no good eating. They said the ones you want are the ones that are about the size we caught, the 50 to right at 100 pounds. He said those are all really good eating.
Alaskans for global warming. Yeah, there you go. There is such a thing as too hot. Like, I don't know. But I'll never understand why people go to Florida in the summertime.
It depends on where you are. You can get where they get the sea breeze coming in. It's not awful. But mostly it's awful.
Mostly it's awful. I mean, it's the summer solstice, like when the sun's the highest end, let's go down as close to the equator as you can on a white sand. Sit out there and roast something. The spring's not bad. It's still rainy down there during the spring.
Yeah, and winter's great. We go down. We usually will go back and we try to go December, January, February. Typically the water is pretty nice and the temperatures are very tolerable. I think I told you when we were down there this past Christmas, it got down in the 40s. There's some people, another video I'm going to do, some people that are kind of from Texas, related by marriage to my buddy Joel and his family. They bought a catamaran, 40-foot catamaran, and they and their 3 kids are living on that now. They moved, they're down there, they're out in the islands. And recently, even as far down as Bahamas and down in there, they're wearing jackets and long pants, and the water is just about too cold to go swimming.
And isn't that weird? Places that it's warm, usually warm is getting cooler, and places where it's usually cooler is getting warmer. We haven't had a winter, Rob.
No, we haven't. I mean, we've had a couple of cold spells, but we haven't had winter.
I mean, we usually get, we get cold and we stay cold for a couple of weeks and it warms back up. It gets cold.
Yeah.
Stays cold for a couple of weeks and warms back up. We haven't had that. I mean,
yeah, I've got all these big piles of firewood out there. It's cool enough I can burn a fire, but honestly, I'm not wasting but I'm not burning a lot of firewood. I got plenty of natural gas. And so I'll save my firewood for just in case.
Just in case, yeah. Our power went out the other day and it was cold. So guess what? We don't got a lot of firewood left.
Uh-oh.
I do. I just all the stuff that me and Aid had put in the back is burned up. It's gone.
Yeah. It doesn't take long to go through some firewood. And for us, Wes, that's something that a lot of people don't think about. We'll just cook with wood if the power goes out. Well, okay, that sounds good. Yeah, no, what you better do
I
is
stand a better chance of it than you do.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
In case nobody's wondered, they count. They have a calendar up there. It's and each day has its own tree.
It's the truth. Wes is making a joke, but we really do. If Chance was still here, he'd tell you too. We use trees as landmarks up here. We have always, my whole life, that was how you knew. If you're telling somebody how to go somewhere, back before they had roads, signs up on the road, so you actually knew what number it was. You tell them you go about 4 miles north of town. Yeah, okay. You know where that clump of trees is growing right there on the west side of the road? Yeah. Okay, that next road after that, that's where you turn. I mean, we really do landmarks.
It's the next gravel or next dirt road on the right after the 3 trees.
Yeah.
Okay. Or you'll see a row of evergreens. That's the road. Or when you get to such and such, if you look out to the west, you can see a patch of trees. That's our house.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean,
no, that's exactly
I grew up
right.
on the same cap he grew up or he's on right now. I mean, I grew up there. I thought I was moving back down into the forestier-ish part. But I picked the only ribbon of desert right through here.
Yeah. Wes, look at the comment.
Sand dunes. There's sand dunes forming in the bar ditch at Colorado City.
No, I don't doubt it. Wes, look at the comment I posted up.
Oh, what?
What could go wrong with that?
Oops.
Good night, Walter.
Small caliber.
When we went halibut fishing, they had a little 410 short barrel 410 shotgun that they would shoot the halibut in the head with. That's funny. Oh, how long has this thing been going? I don't even know.
It's been going 2 hours and 13
Oh, wow.
minutes.
We've been going over 2.
Anyway.
Holy cow. I can't believe it.
It's 10 o'clock at my house, and I've been sitting in front of this computer yakking at people since 6:30.
Goodness.
So, maybe we'll get back to the regular scheduled business. Well, I don't know. It all depends if I get to go roof next weekend. I may not feel like sitting here and yakking at y'all next week.
This is true.
When are you going to go see about the hogs?
I'm going down probably Thursday evening when Joel gets off work. We're going to go down to his brother's house. We'll try to get that generator installed on Friday and then go hunt Saturday, Sunday, and maybe part of Monday. I don't know. And they got plenty of hogs, plus they got feeders and everything else. So it's not like we even have to go out looking for them. I'm going to take the thermal stuff and the night vision stuff. And with a little luck, we can ding a couple of good eaters. I still got 4 out there, 3 or 4 out there in my freezer that I need to have a grinding party. I mentioned to Christy today, I said, okay, are we going to grind these things pretty soon? Because we got a whole bunch of pig to get ground up and make into ground pork. Good night, Oliver. I appreciate you being here. Oliver, I appreciate you, bud.
Yeah, later, Oliver. How far south are you going?
Between Big Spring and San Angelo. Water Valley.
Oh, okay.
They got a hunting lease down there. Adam, my thermal is a pulsar that I run, and then I got my buddy Reese's FLIR that I've got. I hadn't given it back to him yet. I asked him about it. He's like, "Oh, I'll get it back soon." I'm like, "Okay, I'll keep using it." Oh, I need to charge it. Hey, Charlie, you're still there. I thought you were gone by now. Yeah, 4 more. Good grief. That won't be hard to do, will it? I wanted, Charlie, while we're there, I'm hoping maybe that first night or first day we're there, we can pop a fairly small one and roast him over a fire, cook him over a mesquite fire there at the camp. I think that'd be pretty awesome. We'll see about that. By the way, everybody, well, we're down to 15 people, but Charlie's son, his son has a YouTube channel too. And I just went blank on the name of it. Anyway, everybody will have to check out over there. Oh, Adam, the NVGs they're not a brand name. There's a guy down in Central Texas that builds them that I'm in touch with. And whenever I need something, the one time I needed something like that, I call him up and tell him what I wanted, and he put it together. Pretty good, kind of a good contact to have. Correct, Adam. I've never had a bad salmon either. The salmon we caught, boy, catching those salmon were fun. Adam, I don't know how well I guess you know. Adam, we were fishing on the Big Sioux, Sitna, and we were fishing where the Deshka River comes into it. You know, that clear water, dark clear water mixes with that milky water. And that was the spot where we were doing it. And it was tons of fun. Friends of ours had a boat, and we were out there in that boat. And when you hook into a 30 or 40 pound salmon, Big King, he just goes dragging you around. And everybody understands. And it's loads of fun. You know, you're using 30 pound tackle and 35 or 40 pound test line, and, snapping line and straightening hooks and bending tackle all the time, and it was great. You can hear the salmon. What the bait we used for salmon were lures called wiggle warts, and it's kind of like a big rattle trap, but shaped more like a midgerina or a hula popper. And you fish it, and that thing rattles as it flows under the water. And when a salmon gets one hooked in it and then breaks your tackle, you can hear them later as they're working their way upriver from you, jumping, trying to shake that thing loose. Literally from a quarter mile away, you can hear them shaking, trying to rattle that thing, shake that lure out of their mouth. Oh, wow, 65 pounds. How about that? That's a good king. Good night. That's a big king. Rawhide Outdoors. Thank you, Charlie. Any of y'all that want to go sub, his name is Malachi, and he puts up some pretty cool videos from down there at that hunting lease.
Check them out. Okay, brother, I gotta get off here. I'm brain dead. I don't know.
I hear you.
I have nothing else to add to the conversation. So,
Well, I appreciate you being here, Wes. It's always fun doing live streams with you. You never know what we're going to come up with.
yeah, it's way more fun when there's somebody in the room with you.
Rusty's about to get off here. We need to go up and see Rusty again. That was a great, good road trip.
Yes, it was. Steaks weren't bad either.
Yeah, pretty cool. We need to go up and go camping with him. Rusty knows all the cool spots up in the foothills up there.
He goes up there where there's no air. Oh wait, he lives where there's no air. You would think that wouldn't be that big a deal because what's your elevation there
We're probably at about 3,800 feet right here, just under 4,000.
So that's me. I'm only at 28. See, so when
Mhm.
it kills me to go to BTSR, man. The first 24 hours I'm down there, I'm like, there's no air.
Yeah. And when I go there, it's almost the same as being here.
Yeah, until you get up on top. Yeah.
Rusty said we're always welcome there. We should just show up sometime, knock on his door about midnight.
Yeah. Hey, where's the food?
We're hungry.
Oh.
All right. Well, anyway, look, Wes needs to get off here. I should probably get off here too. Happy Hair and Sarah will be back home. Let me check the Stalker app and see where they are. They are they're between Anton and Littlefield. So yeah, they're about 20 minutes out right now. So yeah, we'll call it good. Hey, everybody, it was fun. I appreciate everybody being here and adding cool stuff in the comments. Mel, it was so good to see you again. Vanessa, you and Mel had a great conversation going. And cool. Jason Epp, hey, bud. Good to see you. Mark, glad you were here. Adam, so cool having you on here too, man. Just the other cool stuff that people post and people comment when they're here, just really, really good stuff. Interesting and fun.
Yep.
I love it.
Makes it worth it.
Oh yeah, Chipper, good to see you too.
Have a nice night, Chipper.
I guess he's still here. Who knows? He's pretending to be working or something.
Like he's acting like he's got some kind of
whatever. Carol, we love you. You're just one of the regulars, and we are always glad to see you.
Yes, Carol. Leave that raccoon alone, Chipper.
Charlie, if you're still here, buddy, good to have you. That was fun. I can't wait to tell Joel you come and hung out with me, and he wouldn't. Joel and I were supposed to get together this afternoon, and just I stayed busy doing stuff, and it didn't happen. But looking forward to having a good time up there. Looking forward to being up there. That'll be good. That'll be a good time. All right, Wes.
Charlie's the guy that's going. You're going to be going down there with, right?
What's that? Yeah, Charlie. It's Charlie that is Joel's brother, and he lives down there at Big Spring.
All right, Charlie, don't let him try to pawn no gut shot hog off on me.
Yeah.
I love you, people. Y'all be good. Still out.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Thanks, everybody, for being here. And here we go. Oh, I have to hit it twice. I always forget. Wes, you weren't on here. I got on here before I hit the begin or enter or start program or whatever. I was sitting on there. I hit enter the studio and thought I was going, and I was talking and doing stuff. And they're like, nobody's responding. What the heck? I'm like, is my mic not working? I looked up and saw it. And I was like, oh, crap. I'm so unprofessional.
You're putting over there.
All right. Good night, everybody. No, come on.